Hey guys, this is SJ Football 16, and today I'll be revealing my predictions for Week 19 of the Barclays Premier League season 2015 to 16. I'm going to start with a game between Crystal Palace and Swansea City. I think the score in this is going to be 1-0 to Crystal Palace because Palace have been playing really well this season, as we've seen throughout, and Swansea haven't exactly played very well this season. They've only had a few wins this season, which is not great for a club of their standard at all. And I'm going to head over to the game between Everton and Stoke. I think the score in this is actually going to be 0-0 because they're playing really well. The form of both clubs has been really successful this season, and they've done well against a lot of good teams. Their last games, we saw Stoke, they beat Man United 2-0, which is brilliant for them, and Everton managed to get a brilliant last minute winner at Newcastle, who have been playing quite well in recent games. So I think the score is going to be 0-0. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Norwich City and Aston Villa. I think the score in this is going to be 2-2. It's because Aston Villa, they've actually picked up their form recently, getting results against Newcastle, and of course they got one against West Ham yesterday. So I think the score in this is going to be 2-2, and I think the score is going to be Ajija for Norwich with 2, and I think for Aston Villa it's going to be Kozak with 2. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Watford and Tottenham. Watford, they've played really well this season, but they didn't do that well against Chelsea yesterday. So I think the score in this is going to be 3-1 to Tottenham, because Tottenham, they've played really well this season. I could see them getting a top 4 place as well. So I think it's going to be 3-1, and the scorers are going to be Ben Watson for Watford, as he played quite well in the last game against Chelsea. And for Tottenham, I think the scorers are going to be Kyle Walker, Son Heung-min and Eric Lamela. Now I'm going to head over to the game between West Bromwich Albion and Newcastle United. Newcastle, they've played quite well in recent games. They were unlucky not to get a result against Everton because they played really well in that game. And West Brom, they haven't played that well recently, so against Swansea, but they have played well in other games over the course of this season. So I think the score is going to be 0-0 because West Brom, they're actually quite a bit higher up than Newcastle in the league table, and Newcastle, they lost against Everton, and West Brom, they've lost quite recently as well. So it's not particularly good for them at the moment. So it's going to be 0-0 between those two. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Arsenal and Bournemouth. Despite Arsenal were quite shambolic, in all fairness, yesterday, I think the score in this is going to be 3-1 to Arsenal, because Bournemouth, they're not exactly a good team, and they could be fighting for survival, and Arsenal are fighting to get the league title this season. So there's quite a bit of a difference in that respect. So I think it's going to be 3-1 to Arsenal, and I think the score is going to be Gabriel, the super centre-back, Hector Bellerin. We've seen he's proven as a defender and he can score goals. And also Theo Walcott, I think, will score the other one for Arsenal. And for Bournemouth, I think the score is going to be the young Irish midfielder Harry Arter. And now I'm going to head over to the game between Manchester United and Chelsea. Chelsea, they've recently appointed Guus Hiddink as their manager, as we've seen. And Manchester United, they're not playing that well in recent games. I think the score in this is going to be 1-1 actually, because Chelsea, they haven't played that well this season, and Manchester United, their form's going downhill every game that we can see this season. So I think the score is going to be 1-1, and the scorers are going to be Hector Herrera and for Manchester United. No, Ander Herrera for Manchester United, and I think Pedro's going to score for Chelsea. Now I'm going to head over to the game between West Ham and Southampton. This is going to be quite a good game, I think. I think there are going to be quite a few goals scored in this. Southampton, they played excellent against Arsenal. They won 4-0, as we saw yesterday. So I think the score is going to be 3-0 to Southampton, because West Ham, they didn't play particularly well against Aston Villa. And Southampton, they were flawless yesterday, in all fairness. So it's going to be, I'd say it's going to be 3-0, because I could see them doing quite similar against West Ham. And I think the score is going to be Jay Rodriguez with 2 for Southampton, and I think the other scorer is going to be Van Dijk, because he played very well yesterday. And finally, I'm going to look at the game between Leicester City and Manchester City. I think the score in this is going to be... This is a tight game, I think, in all fairness. Leicester, top of the league, Man City, fighting to win the title. But I think, in all fairness, the final score, I'm going to have to say Manchester City are going to win that by 2-1. This is because Leicester... Their form went downhill against Liverpool, and they didn't play that well, although Vardy and Mahrez have been racking up with the goals. I don't think it's really enough to do well against Manchester City. And Man City, they've done well against a lot of good sides this season. Leicester, they haven't done well in every single game this season. So I think it's going to be 2-1 to Manchester City, and the scorers are going to be Jamie Vardy for Leicester City, and I think it's going to be Yaya Toure and Raheem Sterling for Manchester City. That's all from me for today. Don't forget to like this video if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel, and don't forget to comment on any errors of this video that you think should be changed. I'll see you guys next time.